turn off everybody's mics so that there wouldn't be any noise going through the intro, and then you got to remember to turn everybody's mics back on. Good morning, it's Boogie with the Bull Monday Morning Caffeine for January 13th, 2025, 7 days before President Trump's inauguration. With us this morning, co-host Randy Rhodes, a new co-host Regina Mosser, and anybody else who's in the live chat that wants, all you got to do is let me know. The live chats are on the Dave Globin profile over here on Facebook, and so if you want to be in either one, it's up to you. Go ahead and do that. So we'll kind of go into people that are here. Go ahead, Randy. And what is new and exciting with you?
Well, I got a new cable coming this morning for my microphones because that touchy thing with the sound. So I'm not going to play with my microphone while we're on the show here, because otherwise I'm going to wind up going deaf here. But I was saying in my I did a broadcast yesterday, my own, and I made the comment that, and just so you know, later on in this show, I'm going to be announcing that I am coming out with my own broadcast. It's going to be very unique, but it's going to be timely because of what's going on right now. It just kind of like hit me with a baseball bat. With what's going on with the fires in California and the total destruction of everything, and the loss of lives. So they're now saying it's over 20 people are confirmed dead. They expect the number to go higher as they sift through the ashes, because there's still hundreds are missing. I saw a really sad video of a guy who ran up to his house, and he had a gated community. From what it looked like, it was a massive mansion. And here his dog survived a fire and was living in the rubble for 5 days until he was able to get in there and search. And the dog comes running down the pathway, jumping into his owner's arms. Very touching. And the guy was just totally in tears. But it was that image and others that made me realize just how damn happy I should be with the choices that my father made. And this is where the new show is going to come into effect, with the choices our ancestors made as to when they came across, where they lived, and how they lived. My dad was 22 years in the Air Force, and he could have retired in California, the last state where we were stationed. Okay. He could have said, you know what, I got a home. It's a very nice home. We have friends. I'm going just to retire here. But instead, he chose to retire back in Pennsylvania, where we have the bulk of our relatives. Had he made a different choice, I'd be living in California. And
no home.
And probably no home.
No home. Yep. No home.
So my show is. So I think my new show is going to be about the choices our relatives or ancestors made when they arrived here, and why they chose a certain area, and what battles they had to fight to stay alive, to keep that land, with the various Indian wars, the British, the French, the Canadians, all that. There's enough content there to create like a weekly or maybe even a bi-weekly show of the choices our ancestors made. And that, I think I'm thinking of a title, but that sounds pretty damn good. The choices our ancestors made. Anyways, that's I'm going to put it down on paper. If I can firm it up, that's what I'm going to go with. Otherwise, I'm here in Pennsylvania. It's freaking cold outside. A little bit of snow left on the ground, but I have a roof over my head. I got food in my belly, so I cannot complain.
Okay. I see 44 degrees here in Florida. It is in northern Florida. It is raining right
Yeah.
now. It feels like 47 degrees, they said, but things are always a little bit warmer. Excuse me. A little bit warmer when it rains. So
It's about
sometimes they're a
out
little
of there.
colder, but today it is.
It
They
won't
were
last much
they were
longer.
outside our house. They what?
It's not going to last much
I couldn't hear
longer.
you, Regina.
It just quit drizzling
No.
here. We had it storm through here last night, and you probably got another hour or so of it.
Well, when we first came here, I could say on broadcast there was a 4 o'clock% chance of rain. And I used to say that on every broadcast. There was a 4 o'clock% chance of rain. And it would pour down for 15
And then
minutes.
stop.
And at the end of the 15 minutes, it would be so warm outside that there was no no, you wouldn't believe that it had rained unless you had been here.
Yep.
Had been here watching it. So, but the weather outside is not delightful lately because it's been cold. And I've said, we left Connecticut where it's not uncommon this time of year to be dealing with 35-degree days, but we didn't come to Florida looking for 35-degree days.
No.
Yeah, I mean,
Too
No,
cold for
but
him. Too
I
cold.
mean,
Wet cold is worse.
too cold.
I never thought of
Yeah.
Florida being a cold state. You know, I always thought Florida being a, uh, a state where it's always warm. You're out in your shorts and your t-shirts, and I never thought of being in the 30s or 40s. I don't know why. Maybe it's just you grow up and yeah, Florida is hot as hell down in Florida. You want to go down to Florida.
Well, you'd have some days where it would be like 35, 40 degrees overnight, but by
Yeah.
the time the sun came up, you know, you'd be back up in the 60s and maybe heading up into the 80s,
Right.
90s, or a little higher,
50s and
depending on
60s.
where you. Go ahead, Regina.
50s and 60s during the winter's what I'm used to. This 30 and 40 and 20-degree weather can go mm-mm. And it's wet cold. That's what's
Yeah,
so bad about it. The wind and the wet. It's just so cold.
yep. And it's always been funny. We had a cousin in Fort Lauderdale who would come out to California, and if it was a 60-degree day in California, the sun outshine, a beautiful day for us, she'd be in her winter parka, gloves, hats, mittens, sunglasses, everything to reflect
Mhm.
that that she stay warm. And I always thought it was funny, but it's not funny being here. You walk outside on a 35-degree day and you got to chisel frost the
Yeah.
off the car. Yep. But
Oh,
what's
yeah.
new and
Yeah.
exciting with you, Regina? Anything new down in your neck of the woods?
Oh, it's been a crazy weekend. Let's see. To start off with, Sunday, I get a phone call. A lady that I knew, actually, her husband lived down the street from us for several years, her and her husband, and they worked at a big trucking company down the road, Seminole Express. He did. And I got a phone call that overnight, New Year's, into the new year, he shot his wife and killed himself.
Oh
I was like,
shit!
dude, what? That just, I couldn't believe it. I'm still in shock over it. But then yesterday, I go to the grocery store, go fill up the grocery cart. I ain't never been so embarrassed in my life. Go to run my card, and I have no money in my bank. So I go call the bank, find out
Uh-oh.
where my money is. It's not, all it tells me is the little bit that we have spent. And I'm like, this doesn't make sense. Where's my money? So I called it this morning, and it's still not showing that my money was taken out, but it's showing I have no money. That is impossible. So now I'm waiting on my son to take me to the bank to figure out where the hell my money's at.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't understand the banking.
Yeah,
I don't understand the banking world.
I know I'm getting older, and thank God my daughter still lives with us. She still helps us make some decisions. And yesterday I was online, and I was listening to a broadcast, and I wanted to reactivate my Ring doorbell, so I had to pay the monthly fee, right? So I went online and I logged in, blah blah blah. I got it all set up, and I hit enter, and then I wanted to buy some stuff from Amazon. I said, there's no money. I said, what do you mean there's no money? So I quick went into my S&T bank account. Oh fuck! I chose the annual payment plan instead of the monthly payment plan for Ring doorbell.
Oh God, that
So I
probably
quick,
your
so I
whole
quick
check.
called, so I quick called my bank because they do 24/7, and she says there's nothing we can do until the money clears, Randy. So I got on the phone. Thankfully, Ring doorbell people answered. I got a person who actually spoke English, and I told her what happened. She said, "Don't worry, Mr. Rhodes, we'll take care of you." And they canceled the transaction. And of course, you get
Nice.
the money is going to be returned in 5 to 7 days. But you know what?
Oh,
It was
yeah.
back. It was back when I got off the phone. The money came back to me.
Yeah.
But my bank, they actually put a hold on it on the transaction because my bank, I guess they know I'm old. I don't know. And they when they see
They do.
when they see certain transactions, they'll put holds on them, and they'll call me, say, "Hey, Mr. Rhodes, did you make
Yep.
this transaction?" No, I didn't. Well, we have this transaction for X number of dollars for so and so bank, and no, that's not me. So okay, we didn't think you were there. So we'll take care of you.
Yeah.
I was like,
No,
That
when
don't
they call
happen
you
in
to ask
hood
you,
banks. I live in the
you really
hood, so
buy $1
that don't
million.
happen. They don't call you.
Well, that, right? When they call you to ask you, did you really buy $1 million worth of Boogie with the Bull stock? The answer is yes. But we're all talking about senior moments with banking. In my OT occupational therapy the other day, they handed me an iPad and said, "This exercise is to simulate that you know how to pay bills online." Well, it was so good that you go to pay your bill to the gas company that they're creating, and then so you put in all of the information, and then the last line on the bill paying sheet says, "Oh, by the way, we don't take American Express." So I ended up saying to my therapist, when I get to that point, if I'm paying a bill, I usually end up calling customer service and just have the human walk me through paying the bill. Or I remember that I can't pay this bill with American Express. They gave me an American Express card and a debit.
I don't pay anything.
And I
refuse to.
Then I said to the therapist, I don't pay any bills on a credit card unless I can't use my debit card, meaning that I don't have money in the bank to pay the bill. Most of all of my bills go through my debit card. But Craig says banks suck. I only put enough money in my account to cover online purchases. That's Dr. Craig Peterson, who Michael Stewart was the first person to join us. He is watching. And as I said, anybody else who is watching and wants to come into the broadcast, come on to the broadcast either from YouTube or from my profile on Facebook and say that you want to join the broadcast, and I will send you the link. And it doesn't happen very often because most of the time we kind of plan who we're going to have on in the mornings. But also Red Friday morning caffeine. We have lost Bill Muckler because he has decided he needs to retire from
Imagine that.
He'll
90
be,
years.
well, he'll be 90 years old,
Wow.
I believe, in April. And I knew the day was coming. I didn't discuss it often with him. Kind of just waited for him to let me know. I did leave the window open. I said to him that, if you want to come on 1 week because of to talk about things, you are more than welcome. You just have to let me know. And his response was he may do that. But he was doing 5 days a week at 11 o'clock. We were on at 10, 2 days or 3 days a week, and then we incorporated him into Fridays when he ended his broadcast. But anybody who doesn't know Bill Muckler should know that Bill wrote 3 books: Six Soft Targets, which is a novel, his version of what he thinks happened during the planning and execution of 9/11. And Randy Rhodes has it on his desk, and he may put it up. That's the beautiful Six Soft Targets. Like I said, it is a novel. It's a $20 donation. You go to 2020americabook.com. And like I have always said, usually tell Bill a little bit about yourself when you put your order in, and he will write a personal autograph or whatever you want to call it to you. Or if you're giving the books away, let him know and tell him something about the person, and he will again.
That is so cool.
Tailor it to 2020 America Book. 2020americabook.com. Wait a minute. 2020americabook.com. There we go. 2020americabook.com. If you go there, that's Bill's website. You can read testimonials from people that have bought the book, and you can read up on the books. The first 2 books he wrote, 2020 A Clear Plan for America and 2020 A Clear Plan for Our Future, are what I call the broadcasting Bible. There's so many stuff, conservative broadcasting Bible. There's so much stuff in there that we touch upon from time to time. Bill thinks that the Department of Education in Washington, D.C. should be closed. He thinks the IRS should be closed. I fully support that the IRS should be closed, because the IRS's original version of mission, the way I understand it, was to collect taxes that went to the Federal Reserve Bank to pay for wars that are older than the 3 of us together on this broadcast. And if you listen to interviews with Jerome Powell, the Fed chair, the understanding that you get when you walk away from them is that the Fed was created to create inflation and keep us with inflation, because that's how they work. They can raise or lower interest rates based on inflation, and where they're not an actual government institution, either both of them, the IRS or the Federal Reserve Bank, they just raise interest rates or lower interest rates anytime they want, just like any other bank, as far as I'm concerned. Craig says the worst is when the bank takes its monthly fee, and that makes you negative balance, and then they charge you $35 for the overdraft. Yeah, they will. They will.
What monthly fee?
They will. Or what they will do is they will overdraft you $35, but only take out their bank's fee.
That's only if you have it. You got to keep enough in your bank to keep them from charging you that fee.
I'm hearing scary stories about people's banks, but my bank, maybe it's because it's local. I go in and see them every now and then, or whatever. But they have if I overdraft my bank, they'll give me like 2-3 months to get the money back in there if I need it, and they don't charge me the $35 fee. They know my situation with my rent where it's just due on the 3rd, but I don't have the funds until the second Wednesday of the month. So they'll allow me to write a check and hand it to my landlord, and they know because the Social Security is, hits every time. They'll allow him to cash that check 5 days prior to my deposit, which helps to reduce my late fees to him. In fact, there's two ladies there who purposely look out, and if they see, I'm going to overdraft my account, they'll clear whatever I'm writing a check for, and just send me a note say, hey, just so you know, we paid this, but get money as when you can.
That's
Yeah,
when you get a small town bank that's been there for a long time and knows its customers. See, the bank I got is they never keep the same people in there very long. They're always shifting people through. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But something I wanted to tap on when Randy was talking about the California wildfires. I got to looking in I got to looking in that a little bit and found out that Newsom cut 104 million out of the fire department
yeah.
right before all these fires. And on top of it, have y'all ever heard of Smart LA 2028?
No.
Yeah, it's a smart that they're
Smart City.
No, I never heard of it.
Sure is funny they got this program for a smart city to get rid of everything and build
the
a smart city
yes,
and then all
yes,
these
yes,
fires.
yes.
Well, smart city aren't new. They're originally their original plan about 50s, and I believe that everyone was going to be self 15 minutes away from one. Michael Stewart says he cut 17
No,
million.
no. I heard him. I heard Newsmax said it was over 100. They said it was over $100 million. That was on Newsmax.
It was 104 million. That's from his own team. That's his own team.
I'm going to make this on the broadcast that I posted on Posts of Mine discussing the California fire today. I posted anybody who makes a comment that California might have done or did, or according to them did do, back it up with a source check, because several people yesterday I understand that, but several people insisted yesterday on Posts of Mine that the Oregon Fire Department, once they pulled into California, had to immediately go to a smog inspection on all of them, or they could continue on to their command post. If any of their fire equipment failed the test, it would be sent back to Oregon. I talked to several people yesterday. Well, I talked to several people yesterday that said that is not a policy. I talked to my sister who lives the Oregon border, and true, and it is very common because all of the fire department he lives in Northern California here, that it is very common to see Oregon fire equipment in California at those fires. So rather than be in the middle of this person says this, if you're going to comment on what you to post, where got that information from. I believe that the Oregon Fire
Los Angeles County has
the
been
Portland,
battling
Oregon
the
TV station that is doing the most
flames engulfing the region, and matters are only expected to get worse
would have
considering
covered
the
that
weather.
if that
Red flag warning in place.
if they were with that
What
with that equipment.
what happened was it was mentioned.
Okay,
It was mentioned, and then Governor Newsom come out and called it a lie. So they turned around and they went and pulled the files, and the files show from his own team. They showed it. The files showed that he cut $104 million out of the fire department. He refused to let them clear the brush. I mean, this is
well, the brush we can
all
argue
on there.
The brush goes back to Trump's first term, where Trump said, sure, we will help with the federal forestry budget with California to clear its underbrush as often as is needed. But Governor Newsom, we expect you to California to pay some of it, because all 49 other states federal assistance have to pay something toward the brush being not fair for the 49 other states to pay taxes that go to the federal program to pay to California's brush. Coming back to, I don't want to hear that California can't afford to pay anything. If California
they can't. They're voting against it. They're voting. Newsom's voting. If you look at what he's voting on, he voted against giving the people that are burned out the $25 million. Instead, he's going to give it to the homeless. He voted against giving them the money. That's ridiculous.
Well, okay. I don't know who agreed with state insurance commissioner, because I haven't been able to look into it, but the state of California back in July of this year, 1,900 different fire insurance policies didn't meet the regulation.
No. That is not true. No. That is a fault. Listen, I'm going to explain. I am an insurance agent. I can tell you exactly what happened. It had nothing to do with that. It had to do with the cost that it's costing the insurance companies to insure people in a fire hazard zone when it shows that the lead officials are not doing their jobs to prevent fires or fill these things up. So the insurance company, looks at it as a risk. Most of these insurance companies went and filed to up the premiums. They were going to keep the fire insurance. All the insurance companies had no problem with that. The problem was they could not afford to without upping the premiums for them to make a profit. So they went and they said, we need to up the premiums to be able to stay here. And Newsom stuck his finger up and said, that ain't happening. And I'm dropping your premiums. So, of course, insurance companies, we ain't making a profit. We're the hell out of here. And that's exactly what happened.
Okay. Well, like I said, everybody's going to come back. California didn't do this, so it ended. Reliable people in California that I know are saying that things ended. She did say that sold those 1,900 insurance policies did leave the state because the costs of their insurance policy. Okay. And I don't have a problem with an insurance company having to raise its prices to be able to make insurance that
they wouldn't let them. The government refused to let them up the premiums. That's why they left. That's not the insurance. Everybody's blaming the insurance companies. Blame Newsom and that black lady, whatever her name is the ones who voted against it. So they kept them from being able to stay. That's not the insurance fault. I don't blame them on that one. There are two there. There are two insurance companies in California. There are two left that are still taking fire claims. They will still insure. There's only two though.
Okay. Well, then they should be making a boatload of money with people that want fire insurance.
They are. Trust.
So I did,
and I'm not.
If you
I'm
can
not
afford
saying that
it.
there's anything wrong
If
with
you can afford it.
Well,
so I did confirm one thing. Newsweek has indicated that Gavin Newsom cut $101 million from fire prevention budget out of the budget for June 2024. He passed a law which cut $101 million from this particular part of the budget. Now, he did increase overall the money for the firefighters, but the money he cut came from programs that were designed to reduce the possibility of fire, like going in and cleaning out the underbrush, cutting down trees, doing preparatory work to prevent fires. That's where he cut the money from, and that's why we have the fires, because of the amount of debris, dead stuff, and so forth that caught fire. So that's where he cut the money from.
Yep.
So that is confirmed.
Okay. Short under Newsom on to say this is what I did.
He's gonna lie his ass off.
Newsweek.
But you know what?
Truth out of that dude, please. Dave, you're cracking me up. Stop.
But Dave, you can't trust this guy. Did you see the video of when that woman walked up to him and said, to Governor Newsom, what are you doing? I'm on the phone right now with the president. He wasn't. He was lying to her. He said, I'm on the phone right now. Well, can I hear the conversation? Well, I've been trying to reach him. He's not returning my phone calls. So he lied right to her on camera. You can't trust these people.
He said he didn't cut the money. There's the proof. He cut the money.
He shouldn't be talking to President-elect Trump about any of the problems in California other than to let him know that these problems are going to likely continue when he is president, and perhaps
he's blaming Trump.
No.
Did you hear what he said yesterday? He's blaming every bit of this on Trump.
He's blaming Trump with the underbrush, and Trump said the federal government is not going to help unless the state of California is willing to pay some of its costs. Okay?
That's not Trump. That's Newsom. Where's that Trump? That's all Newsom.
They talk salting the ocean and using the drought season over 40 years ago when the Grogan family lived in California.
I remember the late 80s.
Decided not to do it. Right. Mm-hmm. The state decided not to do it because of the cost to build if the state had even just built one plant and put the infrastructure underground to move water 40 years ago, this would not be able to happen. Is they'd have to send tanker trucks in to fill and then fill new ones. So when the empty ones were on.
Okay. You're talking about 40 years ago.
Well,
we're talking about
right.
Okay. Where's the creek water that was coming through? Right now, what he did was he cut off the creek water. He put all the water all the rainwater they'd collected in the reservoir, he sent back out to the ocean. They could have used that. Quit taking up for Newsom, Dave.
Okay. I that he's a Democrat and he is doing things in his
criminal
that he should not be doing, and
criminal.
The people in his state are responsible to recall, charge him, prosecute him, or whatever.
Absolutely.
But all I'm saying is there are a lot of people on Facebook going around telling half-truths, misleading
That is
whatever
true.
they want to believe,
That is correct.
whether or not it is true. The
That
guy
is
in
correct.
there was a guy in Arizona who said to me, out-of-state fire vehicles have to be inspected by the state of California every
I
time
haven't
they
heard
come
that.
in to do a fire. It's not true.
That's the first.
The
That's the first I heard that.
Mexico has to. Well, okay, it's been going around forever, Regina, in all of my groups. On my profile yesterday, I brought it up because I wanted from people in California whether or not it's true.
Right.
Possibility that the state of California could treat state fire equipment as commercial.
True.
And then even in another state, it has to be inspected in California once a year.
That is a plausible situation, and some little parts might be doing that. We don't know without video or something we don't know. Hold on a minute.
Okay. Right, but the problem is the vehicle inspection system in California only can do a car with a California car out of state with an out of state. An out of state vehicle will pass. It won't pass, and this is what you need to do to make it pass. But it can't test you with a California plate on it unless you have a situation where you have an out of truckers that truck in and out of California. The trucks are owned to meet California smog, and they get a sticker that goes on the truck that shows that they did prove that they did pass California. Make out of state fire equipment do that, but it's not. And also, if I was the governor of California and that was I don't care. Wherever that piece of equipment helped me put out the fire, I'm to that. It's just, the amount of BS on Facebook right now, since Facebook has claimed that they fact checking, is even more BS. Things that should have passed fact checkers.
Yeah, but
and that's a whole discussion of a broadcast that we could do probably for the next 200 years, because I personally do not believe that fact checking, and anyone who was employed by Meta to do fact checking is no longer a fact checker. They were given some task, and they will continue doing whatever to officially stop on Facebook until Brendan Carr, the new FCC chairman, goes and says what he has said all along. He was a Republican FCC commissioner who always got down by the Democratic commissioners and the Democrat to rewrite Section 230, make sure big tech and everybody on the rules and go after all of the ones that the only reason Mark's anything about saying that fact checking will stop on Facebook is because the class action lawsuits that deal with fact checking, which has always been illegal, are starting now to hit the courts against Meta for removing him as president of the United States because they didn't like his post that disagreed with their political opinions. I believe that was discussed at the Mar-a-Lago meeting because Mark Zuckerberg for a pardon. He's not going to get a pardon from Joe Biden for what he did. He's not from Donald Trump when he becomes president for what he did. Violated the rules since 2004 when FCC drops the news section 230 pertaining to public forums on Meta is going to change. And you have to also figure that Meta did not expect Donald Trump to win this election. They expected Kamala Harris.
Nope.
Facebook and its fact checking was going to go even far left of where it is now, because Kamala Harris would have gone even farther left than Joe Biden did, or the people running Joe Biden.
Yeah. What I find funny is right after he said that, he put me in Facebook jail.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up.
No more fact.
Yep. Yeah. He nailed the figure. I don't know if I'm an admin of the group or not, because I have group owner friends like I do that I'm an admin in, that I remember all of them. But she's an admin in a bunch of. Let me know the day he said that she got notified of 100 fact check articles that were removed from one group. My response to her, okay, you have to kind of give Facebook credit that they didn't just turn this fact-checking system out. So it would take some time, but we're not going to do fact-checking anymore. Then they shouldn't be issuing any more fact-checking. We're sending people to Facebook jail. But
that's right.
I said,
mine was all over
Facebook. They from on the left.
Yep.
Under Facebook, what they would do and what they wouldn't do, to setting it up to be even farther left under Kamala Harris. That Mark Zuckerberg has said that the administration told him to do, because he felt he was ordered by the federal government to do it and didn't want to risk Facebook being kicked off to do it. You know, whether or not he did that.
Well, he did it to me over Second Amendment rights. I got banned this past week over Second Amendment rights on Sean's podcast, which I think is just, I mean, it's crazy. I'm like, I guess that they just got you on radar, Sean.
Well, I've been saying that 2004, you're still being fact checked in 2020. You joined Facebook in 2009, like I did. I've been here for almost 16 years. You're still being fact checked.
Do you have the same? Yeah, but do you have the same account? Is the account you got now the same one?
I've had for the entire 15 and a half years that I have been here on Facebook. I do have a hidden account that very few people know is me, for the same reason because if they get kicked off of Facebook, they're going to come back to another ban.
See, that's what happened to me.
People for life.
Oh, they did. They did me. 10 years, and they banned me. I had to use my whole different married name and everything, and change my birthday, all kind of stuff to get back in.
Banned for life.
Removed
is a technical term. Removed and cannot get back on until they decide they're.
No, my account was totally erased. No, he erased my account. I've had 2 accounts totally erased.
Right. And the reason that you got banned for life on both of those accounts, right, but the reason that you got banned on both of those accounts is that you exceeded the amount of bogus fact check violations you can get, and they eventually off for it. But that's all I'm trying to
Freedom
say.
of
The
speech.
term, I
Freedom
understand
of
that. I'm
speech
not
is what
arguing that
I
it was
didn't.
argued.
No, I'm just saying I didn't post. I wasn't posting anything. I was speaking free speech or constitutional rights, freedom of speech. I didn't post anything that was fake.
I understand what you're saying, but the term banned for life is a technical. A programmer goes in and either puts your account on a Facebook access to Facebook until they decide whether or not you're ever going to Facebook access. And I speak of this from the truth because StreetLock is owned by a guy named Grant Jackson, some consulting work. Grant and I got into an argument one day, and he said, I will ban you from to log on. That means that you will not be able to log on if the server thinks you creating another account. They will not accept that account. You are gone until that social media network decides that you can come back on.
That's emailed with your phone number.
Facebook is not banned.
They use everything to try and ban you.
But that's what I'm saying. Facebook people for life. They're just suspending you indefinitely on that one account because, again, because of that, they start with their main account when that gets banned, they go to number 2. When that gets banned, they go to number. They get to 100, allows them to use that. So I mean, it's just a game. But again, fact checking never was legal on Facebook. The FCC, who had regulatory authority of the internet administration, because he gave it to them, he reclassified the internet, a phone company, gave regulatory, had Democrat FCC chairman, majority of Democrat FCC commissioners, so they were not gonna boot Facebook. I'm not asking Chairman Carr to boot Facebook from the internet. I'm asking to just make sure that they are following rules. Use that regulatory authority to make sure they are following. Aren't, you have a choice. You can suspend them from the internet for a period of time, or you can fine them, or you can do both. I'm not looking for any compensation from Facebook because any one of my accounts or any one of my groups were fact checked, even though it was illegal. All I'm looking for is that an illegal policy of Meta fact checking don't do it anymore, and they remove it from all of my groups because get fact check violations. They go to me as an admin of the group and a group owner as well. In one of my groups, Conservative Freedom Defenders, I posted something that we're not going to come as a member of the group if one of your posts gets deleted. Know why they shouldn't delete it if you don't request a review on that post yourself. It's not our responsibility. It's not our responsibility as group owners, admins, and moderators to fact check every post you put in the group. If it was about 800 of the 828 members of that group wouldn't be in that group anymore.
Yeah.
All I said was it's come to a point of my 63rd birthday and my 3rd year of being that I do not believe that the group and moderators should be responsible if Facebook deletes a post of yours if you don't that post and request a review. And I know in my groups it happened because I have what I call serial driver, a member of all of my groups, and they put in all of my groups. And, I have one who when she gets banned, suspended from Facebook for a period of time, she has been suspended, and she's either going to sit it out or she's going to request a review. And when she requests a review, she gets hold on a second. When she gets suspended, she either will challenge, and I believe 9 out of 10 times it gets dropped, or she just decides to sit it out. I publish a bunch of news feeds in various groups that get into the Facebook news feed so that the members of the group can read it in their Facebook news. I am at a point now where when it starts coming back on me, then you either got doing it yourself or just accept that fact checking, as long as it is going to continue to happen, because I do not believe, like I said, that it will stop. It will become a spam violation in too many groups. I've fought Facebook tooth and nail on that. How can you share my broadcast to 150 groups? All 150 groups are okay with my broadcast being in there to tell me that I am spamming. If I post my broadcast into 150 groups, and they contact and ask you to tell me not to post my broadcast in their, or they ask me not to post in their group anymore, I do.
Okay, moving along.
That I'm in on my share list for when I'm on any broadcast or my broadcast, that I'm going so fast that I might hit the flower group that I'm in that doesn't want political broadcasts in there, and I just tell them to take it down, or I apologize for doing it. But go ahead.
Okay, so moving along like a herd of turtles. Putin, when he reached out to was it Xi or whatever his name is in North Korea for help, and in exchange, I'll give you missiles and rockets and nuclear technology.
Kim Jong.
Okay. So
Xi is China.
So North Korea sent, I think, like around 12,000 or so, supposed to be their elite soldiers to fight alongside the Russian soldiers. But either these North Vietnamese soldiers are not what they're cut out to be, or Putin is not giving these soldiers the proper amount of protection they require as infantry. But so far, they've lost over 5,000 deaths of their soldiers and multiple thousands injured. So they're not doing too good. So I don't think Putin's getting the bang for his money that he thought he was going to get to help win this war. And the fact that a lot of North Korean soldiers are actually giving themselves up to Ukraine to be taken prisoner instead of fighting. I'm not saying that this loss is going to switch things over in Russia and Zelensky is going to win. I just think it's more of a smack in the face to Putin's ability to run a war and actually be successful. So we have, 8 days until Trump takes office. I'm going to be curious to see what Trump does to bring that war to an end.
It's interesting.
Evidently, he's been saying, right, evidently he's been saying that he can settle it in one phone call in an hour or less. I understand that the 5-level chess players, Putin, Trump, talked about how he heard Russia's point of view. He knows Zelensky's point of view, and even if he can't bring a settlement, he's going to, I hope, because he said he is going to funding the Ukraine war against Russia and pull everything out that we have sent there. And I am that he this time will pull everything out and stop sending. Says we're not giving you any more military aid, and we're not giving you any more money. And the only thing he can do is that if Johnson, the speaker, is a Republican and we have the majority, if they pass a bill to Ukraine and it goes over to the Republican Senate and John Thune and company passes it and it gets to the president's desk, it's very likely will veto, which means that the only way the money could go would be them overriding. And I don't know whether or not they would, realistically. I really don't. Hey, Jerry, I hope you get the truck running very quickly, because I know
Okay, so
how you depend on.
So let's go to Pete Hegseth. He's supposed to be was Trump's first. Was what?
It's Hegseth.
Hegseth, sorry. That he was Trump's first choice to be, I guess, the Secretary of Defense. Is that what it is? In charge of the military. And because of an oopsie back in the day with a woman that he had to pay hush money to, that I guess that might blow his chances at this position, because apparently there's a rule in the description, the job description, that indicate that if you ever paid out money for hush money, whatever, you're not eligible for this position. Well,
like half of them.
You look at Joe Biden, and he's the president of the United States. Look what he's done.
Well, if you read the report, I read the report of Pete Hegseth, and the lady was at the bar with him, flirting with him. All the witnesses that come in, this is why he wasn't charged. Says this woman was all over him at the bar. She's the one who drugged Pete upstairs after she was married, mind you. After she had sex with him, she stayed the night with him, woke up that morning, went back to her hotel room where her husband was, and tells him she fell asleep on her friend's couch. And then when he finds out she lied to him, she tried to play that she got raped by Pete Hegseth. See? So it was all bullshit. Even her husband threw her under the bus and told him she wasn't even drunk. When she come in, she's a liar. She was not drugged.
Yes.
But my belief is that Congress condones this behavior of a slush house and a slush fund in the Senate that covers helping an accused senator or representative out of this. Because realistically, they should be dragged before the ethics committee or the Senate, given an opportunity to, by the ruling of the ethics committee, go to the floor. It goes to the floor of the House.
Why should that happen when he was never charged? Why should you be put through that if you were never charged with a crime? That's ridiculous. You don't do people like that.
Okay. No. I was talking about the House and Senate slush committees that pay so that people can you to serve. Yeah, that Pete was not.
If they're going to throw Pete and Matt and them under the bus, they need to throw themselves under the bus and show their own record while they're out there talking shit.
Right. There shouldn't be There shouldn't be a boatload of money to members in the House or the Senate fight them.
Nope.
Because they're in the Senate or the House. Period. They're in the federal government. Money coming from the federal government to help you keep your job.
No.
Hey, I gotta get going. I got people to take care of here on my end. It was good to see you, Regina.
Yeah, you did.
Talk to you later. Talk to you later, Regina.
Bye.
No, that's okay. He works very hard. Randy Rhodes from All Roads. There is a group, I believe it is called the Original All Home Genealogy. That's the group that you want to join now. The group that is All Roads Lead to Home Genealogy was started over some complaints Randy can explain. But he is the best at what he does, as far as I am concerned. He can name a list of satisfied customers, and I am on it. The reason that he did it for me is that Randy and I had a high heat of rage. I deleted the family tree that he had created for me. So building it when he had, he will tell me something that he found, and I will remember. To mention, it's hard to remember, but I will remember more information to him, and we may do it on one night. We'll take my tree and show he does. His rates are the absolute less. That's like from anybody. No, I don't know anybody else that's doing this on Facebook, so I don't know what they charge. So I'm just saying, based on knowing that he Facebook that I know that is doing this, this is the lowest rate you will pay. Sleeps genealogy. You see a picture of his bed every once in a while. There are laps all over his bed. He works on it constantly. So talk to him. Maybe you grow so much of your tree, and then you continue on with the tree that he gave you. Not everybody 12 months a year, and he's happy to do this stuff because he just enjoys doing it. Jerry says, I'm driving, but I have an oil leak, so got to fix. Yeah, you had mentioned that on a broadcast the other day, that you said you didn't know if it was in the transmission pan, or as far as my experience with oil leaks in cars is that if oil pan, that's for an oil leak. If you have to replace an oil pan, you're pretty lucky. And pump and other parts of, but you can't base my mechanical payments and costs and things that I say, because I was a company with multiple vehicles and I had to have them out on the road, available to be out on the road making money. I'm sure by not having our own mechanics do stuff and having qualified mechanics that I was very happy with. So, I do support, as Jerry will discuss, the American Rebellion Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, that vocational schools are still a lot of them, but vocational schools, at least at vocational schools, need to come back. I even, that Jerry have to take a home ec class to learn how to basically house, how to cook, because they may be just themselves. I said girls should have to take at least a basic class where you learn how to change a tire, or how to place the jack, how to place the tire. If you want oil change, learn how to cook, because I'm just afraid the car will fall on me. Something will happen. A dog will come by and kick the jack, and boom, that's it. So I never had any design, or I was dressed in a suit, and I wasn't about to lay on the ground and change oil. But you should know how to change oil, how to change a spark plug, has a spark plug, how to read codes. You should reader, because the decision as to whether or not you're going to fix it yourself or you're going to get it fixed, and at least you'll know what you're talking about. I mean, I was very lucky that one of my mechanics in Waltham, Mass, I could and point to him where I thought the sound was coming from while the engine was running, or if it was an electrical issue and something wasn't working right. I had a mechanic who loved to by wire until he found the problem. So it is getting expensive to maintain your car at the dealership or a private mechanic that you trust. So, you should, everybody should know how to balance a checkbook, but understand they may not use a checkbook. I can write on my checking account, but I don't do that. I use my debit card. I look at my account usually every other day to make sure still in the black and that I didn't make a mistake on something. You need to do that. Do that on your credit card statements and know when you have tapped out, you need to start paying on them or on them. Credit card companies are not going to take your account away from you unless it's for a reason that doesn't involve paying your bill. I mean, cards, and it's 30% interest compounded, I don't know, daily, monthly, but until you pay it off, you got that loan and you have however long you want to pay it off. You may account at some point because you're not either making payments or and you probably deserve that. And it was a lesson that I needed to learn. Anyway, Regina, I appreciate having on, but I will apologize to people with my stress over California and the bulk of us, including them. But I don't care if you're against Governor Newsom and you have proof that he didn't do something, because then what will happen is there will be a Democrat messaging me saying, hey, that's not what happened, or a Democrat in California saying that's not what happened. This is what happened. And, Then I got to bring them on. And we all know the one time I brought a Democrat on, it was minutes of nonstop screaming until every co-host on the broadcast with me had left. I decided enough was enough. I cut him off because I didn't want anybody on my broadcast. But anyway, we are Boogie with the Bull, bunch of different broadcasts. Morning Caffeine is Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Friday is Red Friday Morning Caffeine. Bill Muckler, again, is no longer with us. But we are going to keep the show with a salute to remember everyone deployed in the States and if they are serving around the world as well, because that's what it is. And as Bill had said a few months ago, if you are serving, are deployed because of all the stuff that is happening in the United States. Anybody is and join the broadcast. All you have to do is ask for send you a link. The broadcasts are 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. 11 on Randy usually has to leave at 11 a.m. and 11 a.m. too, and I'll close. But that's about 11 to 11. Excuse me, 10 a.m. to 11:30. Sometimes we go till 12 noon, depending on what it is. That's morning caffeine Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. 8:30, sometimes 9 o'clock. Tuesday night and Thursday night. Everybody gets a chance to talk. Some people will get mad. I might get mad. We deal with it. We talk. You know, there's really no reason to yell at anybody on those broadcasts. So you can talk rationally, calmly, agree or disagree with someone. That's what we do. I call it open because I don't usually plan anything that we're going to discuss because I don't want to do that. Just bring people on and we'll talk about whatever they want to talk about. What's going on with their lives, what's going on in the country. That's why I do it. Or Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday is the American Rebellion down blogger page here on Facebook, somewhere on Rumble X, and I can never remember, and I haven't written it down. So the next time you're watching the American Rebellion on the Facebook blogger page, ask Jerry Michaels. We're on Rumble, and we're on X. And you should go on to both. If you have Rumble and you have X, you should, and share the broadcast to all of your friends and followers on Rumble and X. If you're on somewhere, go to Rumble. Well, actually, you can share it from Rumble or X. Same thing, a Boogie with the Bull broadcast, and you're watching it on Facebook on my profile. Share it. Share it. Share it. Share it. Share it. Share it. Share it everywhere you can on Facebook. Share it off of Facebook. Even go to X and share it on X. I keep throwing invitations for people on X to the Boogie with Bull YouTube channel if they're not Facebook members, and be involved there. Sharing the Boogie with Bull broadcast off the internet. Off of Facebook, the YouTube channel, everywhere we can, and being live on that. On some social media networks that you share the YouTube channel to, they will be able to use Boogie with the Bull YouTube live chat. Some of them they will not. It's at the discretion of the social media network that you share it to. I do know on StreetLock they can use the YouTube live chat. This week I will find out on Gab and on Truth Social if you can use the YouTube live chat while you're there. And if you can't and you want to be in the live, be in the live chat. Anyway, I'm rebel only because it is prep. That's all I'm going to say. And I don't sit long enough here in front of my camera to be on. I may be watching it. I don't know if I will be on. Today is my 63rd birthday and almost my 43rd year on the internet. That started, I think, it started in 1982. If you want to come by and wish me a happy birthday, see maybe if Randy can find more embarrassing pictures of me in my genealogy he is doing. If you have a embarrassing picture of me or any picture of me with you that you want to share, you can send it up or come on the broadcast and share it. All I will tell you is that around 4 years old, I wasn't fat, pudgy, but some people fat. So okay, I was fat. Around something happened around 8 years old in my head. It was dormant through maybe junior high and high school. By the time I got to high school, I was not a pleasant person. I was not a happy person. That was just me. I wasn't. I'm happy with what I do on social media because social media these days, but I'm allowed to be crazy. One of these days, we will the broadcast to people who have dementia, doctors that treat dementia, people that are caring for dementia, and just talk about it. And I don't know, maybe the pharmaceutical companies have a cure. They're not releasing it. Maybe Robert F. Kennedy Jr., when he becomes Secretary of H, to put pressure on them to do my best to try to be there, or at least be able to that's all I can say. Last word on that is to catch colon cancer. It's very easy to remove all of it if it's caught in the stages, as long as it's safe for them to remove all. And in most cases, it doesn't come back. Having lost a very good friend of mine whose birthday is January 8th, Stella Driscoll Gaines, to colon. Natives have had to deal with it as well. But that's about all I have to say. Preventable as long as it is detected early. And on that note, Double B's for victory. This Boogie with the Bull broadcast is going to come to an end a little bit before 11. It is 46 in Florida. It says rain. I'm looking out my window and I don't see any rain. I did see before we went on. So adjust yourself to your and prepare yourself accordingly. One final time, go to the American Rebellion page on Facebook tonight and watch the American Rebellion. Either be on the broadcast or I'll be in the live chat. If I'm in the live chat, I'm okay to be on the broadcast. And that's about all I'll say on that. But watch American Rebellion Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, 7. Share it all over Facebook. If you're on Rumble, go to Rumble and share it everywhere you can. Share it to X on X. Go to share it on Rumble. Pass it around everywhere you can and help the company get more views and people that want to join the broadcast. Because what we live streaming stuff, what we do down here in Grass Report, it's important. And you've been watching Boogie with the Bull Monday Morning Caffeine for January 13th, a copyrighted presentation of the No Budget Broadcasting Company. And I say go out there, make it a great day, do whatever you need to do. Apologize to anyone being too loud. Supposedly are ways to fix it. I would have to buy a new microphone and plug directly into that microphone the earphones. This is for doing live streams and wearing headphones that, talking, and I know when I'm talking loud, but normal broadcast headphones, you should be able to hear yourself when you're talking on mic, and you should be able to hear when you're talking. Like, just makes it easier to catch that it's have blown out long ago. Thank you to Jerry Michaels for watching, and Ichabod Palmer was in there watching. Dr. Craig Peterson was there. William Rayfield was there. William, you're welcome to join us Monday, Wednesday, Friday Eastern if you are available. Bill Muckler has retired from Red Friday Morning Caffeine, so that broadcast is open to anyone who wants to join us. 10 a.m. Monday, 10 a.m. Eastern, Monday, Wednesday. Friday. Welcome to join us at 7 p.m. broadcasts Tuesdays and Thursdays here on Facebook and on YouTube. And anywhere else you can share on, just about everywhere. You can't link StreamYard to Restream. I'm not sure. I believe you can link Restream to another stream, but I don't know how to do it. But you're more than welcome to any of the broadcasts that you can join on. I know you're a busy guy, you're working things and may not be able to make the mornings, but you're more than welcome to join any Boogie with the Bull broadcast that you can join us on. So is anybody else. And I want to flash one comment from Ichabod Palmer that I don't feel a bit sorry for California's people. They had a chance to recall Newsom during the COVID, and they didn't. And he was voted back in. California people made their beds, so let them sleep. Issues in this country to focus on. Yes, there are. Yes, there are. But, like I said, I think a solution would be California accepting that they need to pay a portion, clearing the underbrush, and President Trump will, the qualified government in and clean out with you. And if you want to do that, then you're not going to get federal money from Joe Biden, because Joe Biden would favor California, whatever California needs. So yes, you did make your bed, and it is your responsibility. And as I said earlier, and as Ichabod said, it's time to get rid of Governor Newsom. In 2028, that's the next governor of California, and it is rumored that Vice President Kamala Harris, who lost her president, might possibly run for California governor, since California, and or wait 2 years and for her would run for governor. 2028, she would her former U.S. Senate seat from California. So, because I believe she was hard to money in a future Democrat election, at least a Democrat National Convention, because they are with the fact that she raised $1 billion and ended up $1 billion, $20 million, or just in the hole on top of the $1 billion that she raised. And I'm sure she had spent the $100 billion wisely. It could have helped her win the election. But who knows? Anyway, Democrats drink something for breakfast, because I'm very hungry and I need to. Anyway, that's the new Boogie with the Bull broadcast logo, and the will be coming out on a black thermal mug. I believe 40-ounce mug for a few people as gifts, and a slightly smaller mug for people. And we will probably give away on broadcast. And we hope that will get other people to want to watch the broadcast. That's all I got to say on that.